had a lyric in it that went like this: It's possible to notice the stars but not see the light. I think that hope can sometimes be like that. When we talk about Advent as a season of hope, I think that it means less all of us working hard to become hopeful people, and it means more to let the Lord unwrap some of our hopelessness and let us get a peek at the hope that is often hid within. I think that there's a lot these days that can be very discouraging. But Advent is a season of hope, a season of hope that is brought to us. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1 says, faith is the assurance of things hoped for. Faith means having a certain confidence, a certain assurance, a certain conviction regarding unseen realities. They're there. We just somehow aren't aware of them. We see the stars, but we're not noticing the light. The faith that gives us the assurance of things hoped for also reminds us of an eternal and heavenly dimension that's different from the world that is open to our senses. I remember when I first went away to school in Minneapolis. I was 17 years old. I was 2,000 miles away from home. And I was still wondering kind of how I got myself in that situation. And honestly, for the first couple of years, I seemed to experience more hopelessness than hopefulness. One of the things that I discovered let me get a glimpse of the hope that was mine was calling a number on the phone that I called all the time when I was at home in Southern California. It was the number for the surf report. If you called that number, it told you how high the waves were, how frequent they were. They even would say how often the swells were coming in, what the temperature of the water was. And even too, would often give a longer range forecast. In other words, if a storm was brewing down in Baja, they would indicate when we could expect storm surf in Southern California. I know what that sounds like. But for me, when I heard those words, I knew that my surfboard was still safe in my garage at home in Orange County, California. I knew that my wetsuit was still hanging in my closet in my back bedroom of our house. And sometimes when I dialed that number, it even seemed like I could smell the Pacific Ocean in all of its saltiness. There in Minnesota, in the middle of January, surrounded by cold and snow. In the midst of all that hopelessness, I let the good Lord unpack, unwrap just enough of it for me to see the hopefulness that was hidden inside. And I'll never forget that. I know now that it is in that very sense that Advent is a season of hope, not one where you and I have to work harder to see the bright side of things or to become more hopeful people. No. It's a time for you and I to step out of the way and let the Lord unwrap a little bit of the gift that He's promised us, the gift that He said was ours in baptism, the gift of a hope that can never be taken away from us. And yes, I'll tell you today and every day, I know that that's what Grace to Go looks like.